What's up, everyone? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, back with another action figure review. This time, I'll be looking at the DC Direct Blackest Night Series 8 figure of Orange Lantern Lex Luthor. This figure comes in clamshell packaging. The packaging has held up quite well over the last 15 years. And the personal power battery and Orange Lantern Core symbol base are positioned behind the figure. On the back of the package, we get a brief description of Blackest Night, as well as Lex Luthor's role in the story. If you would like to read these, just hit pause and do so now. Here's a look at the accessories, including the Orange Lantern symbol base. The symbol has been executed well. The paintwork is very precise on this. And then we get the personal power battery. It has a movable handle, translucent plastic in the middle, and a beautiful metallic orange finish. And here we see Lex Luthor in an orange construct version of his famous war suit. The translucent orange plastic that has been used for this figure perfectly represents the idea of a hard, light construct. Although the boots could be a little larger, for the most part, this figure is comic accurate. It features intricate sculpting throughout the war suit, and it includes a flexible battle skirt that aids the articulation of the lower body. Despite being mostly one color, this figure is bright and eye-catching. DC Direct did an excellent job of sculpting this figure to look like a man in a bulky armored suit, rather than simply reusing parts. This figure also features some very fine sculpting work on the chest symbol. It's rather difficult to photograph, however, it is possible to see that the symbol has been sculpted. It is not just paint, and I really appreciate that for a collector-centric figure. Although I appreciate the sculpting on the fingers, the ring is somewhat difficult to see. Here is an extreme close-up, and there was an attempt to sculpt this on the finger. It does look like the shape of a ring, however, any resemblance to the Orange Lantern Core symbol is unclear. One caveat about this figure is that these plastic pieces that represent hoses or wires are very brittle. I've seen many collectors online complain that they broke very easily with minimal handling. So if you decide to pick up one of these figures for your collection, be careful when you're gripping the figure around the upper torso and head area. Here's a look at the head sculpt, and DC Direct did a magnificent job at giving Lex this crazed, greedy expression. Mine has a little extra black paint around the teeth, but that does not stop me from enjoying this wild look in Lex's eyes. It perfectly represents the idea of Lex being taken over by the emotion of avarice. The articulation on this figure is definitely different than many DC Direct figures from this time period. The feet move backward and forward at the ankle joints, and there is some pivoting. We get these single jointed knees, and it is possible to get the figure into a deep running pose. As I mentioned before, the battle skirt does not hinder the articulation. There's also a quadricep swiveling on this figure. The figure can kick forward this far, and the figure can step back this much. The legs cannot be moved outward to the sides. Here is a look at the articulation of the figure's torso. At least for my figure, the upper torso movement is very limited. There's rotation at the wrists, single jointed elbows, It's possible to articulate the arms to this angle. There's also bicep swiveling, which is not something that I expected. The arms can be raised up from the torso this much. The arms move backward and forward well. However, I would not try to do a 360 with these. I think it could damage the shoulder armor. But with all of this articulation in the arms, it is possible to get the figure into several dynamic poses. However, unfortunately, due to the character design, it's nearly impossible to get any articulation out of the head at all. It's very difficult to even grip the figure. And again, I can get a little bit of up and down movement, but I can't get any side-to-side motion whatsoever. So I really wish that I could turn the figure's head. However, the overall articulation here is much better than I expected. If you enjoyed this unboxing video, make sure to check out the rest of my collectible reviews, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll be back with more action figure content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.